The latest episode of Sister Wives has left viewers reeling as Robyn Brown, often dubbed the favorite wife, was brought to tears in one of the show's most emotional moments yet. Her raw vulnerability took fans by surprise as she opened up about the crumbling family dynamic that has haunted the Browns since their once unbreakable plural marriage began to fall apart. Cameras captured every tear, every tremor in her voice, and the heartbreaking confession that revealed just how much pain lies beneath her calm exterior. But was it genuine sorrow? Or the weight of long-buried guilt finally breaking through? Fans can't stop debating what really triggered Robyn's breakdown. The latest episode of Sister Wives delivered one of the most emotionally charged moments in the show's long history when Robyn Brown, often at the center of controversy and fan debates, broke down in uncontrollable tears as she confronted the painful reality of her fractured family. Viewers who have followed the Brown family for over a decade witnessed a side of Robyn rarely seen before. Gone was the composed, soft-spoken woman who has often been portrayed as Kody Brown's closest confidant and the favorite wife. Instead, audiences saw a wife and mother struggling under the immense pressure of holding together a family that has been torn apart by mistrust, heartbreak, and years of resentment. The emotional scene unfolded as Robyn sat down to speak candidly about how the plural marriage has changed since the other wives, Christine, Janelle, and Miri, have left Kody. Her voice trembled as she admitted that she has been feeling the crushing loneliness of being the last remaining wife in what was once a complex but unified family. Robyn's confession came during a quiet moment of reflection, her eyes glistening with tears as she said, "I couldn't hold it in anymore. I've been trying to stay strong, to keep things normal for the kids, but it's just too much." Her words carried the weight of years of emotional strain that had built up behind the scenes, away from the cameras and the public eye. Robyn's breakdown marked a powerful shift in tone for the series. For years, she had been accused by many Sister Wives fans of being the reason behind the family's unraveling. Critics have often pointed to her close relationship with Kody as the dividing force that pushed the other wives away. But in this episode, Robyn's tears seemed to paint a different picture. A woman trapped between love and loyalty, facing the aftermath of choices that have left her isolated even as she remains married to the patriarch of the Brown family. She spoke of missing the sense of sisterhood that once defined their plural lifestyle, and of the heartbreak that came with seeing the other wives walk away one by one. As the episode continued, the rawness of Robyn's emotions became undeniable. Viewers saw her wiping tears from her face as she described the deep sadness she feels every day, knowing that the family she once dreamed of being part of no longer exists. "It's like I lost my family too," she said through tears, her voice cracking with emotion. "I've been trying to stay strong, to keep things normal for the kids, but it's just too much." Her statement struck a chord with fans who had long speculated that Robyn might have secretly relished being Kody's sole partner. But in that moment, her vulnerability challenged that narrative. Kody Brown, sitting beside her during the interview, appeared visibly uncomfortable as Robyn wept. For once, the man who has so often dominated conversations on the show seemed at a loss for words. His attempts to comfort Robyn came across as hesitant, his usual confidence replaced by quiet guilt. When he finally spoke, he admitted that the family's downfall has affected him too, but his words did little to soothe Robyn's anguish. She looked at him with a mixture of love and frustration, as though still searching for the connection that once held them all together. The silence between them said more than any words could. What made Robyn's breakdown even more impactful was how it contrasted with her image throughout the series. From the moment she joined the family in 2010, she was seen as the woman who changed everything. Her marriage to Kody coincided with the start of the family's television fame, and while some fans embraced her as a refreshing new addition, others saw her as a wedge driving the original wives apart. Over the years, accusations of favoritism and manipulation have followed Robyn relentlessly. with online discussions often portraying her as the mastermind behind the family's collapse. But in this episode, her tearful confessions seem to suggest something different. A woman trapped between love and loyalty, facing the aftermath of choices that have left her isolated even as she remains married to the patriarch of the Brown family. She spoke of missing the sense of sisterhood that once defined their plural lifestyle, and of the heartbreak that came with seeing the other wives walk away, one by one. As the episode continued, the rawness of Robyn's emotions became undeniable. Viewers saw her wiping tears from her face as she described the deep sadness she feels every day, knowing that the family she once dreamed of being part of no longer exists. "It's like I lost my family too," she said through tears, her voice cracking with emotion. "I've been trying to stay strong, to keep things normal for the kids, but it's just too much." Her tears flowed freely as she expressed regret over not being able to fix things, her voice filled with the kind of sorrow that only comes from knowing some relationships can never be repaired. "I wish I could go back and change things," she whispered, her face buried in her hands. "I wish we could have found a way to stay a family." For longtime fans of Sister Wives, Robyn's emotional display was both heartbreaking and complicated. Many took to social media to express sympathy, acknowledging that regardless of past trauma, her pain seemed real. Some fans said they could finally see the human side of Robyn, a woman who loved deeply and is now living with the consequences of choices made by everyone involved. Others, however, remained skeptical, accusing her of playing the victim after years of contributing to the family's dysfunction. One viewer wrote, "I want to feel bad for Robyn, but it's hard when she benefited the most from everyone else's pain." Another added, "Maybe now she knows what the other wives felt for years." The episode's emotional weight also came from the timing. It aired shortly after Christine and Janelle had publicly spoken about finding happiness and freedom after leaving Cody. Both women have shared glimpses of their new lives, Christine's remarriage to David Woolley and Janelle's independence, while Robyn's story has taken the opposite path. Alone in the massive home she shares with Cody and their children, Robyn's life has grown increasingly isolated. Her tears seem to capture that loneliness, a stark contrast to the joy radiating from her former sister wives. Throughout the scene, Robyn spoke of her children and how difficult it has been for them to understand why their extended family is gone. Her maternal instincts were on full display as she talked about trying to protect them from the chaos and hurt that has surrounded the Browns. She said, "They miss their siblings, they miss their aunts, they miss the family gatherings. They don't understand why everyone is so angry. I don't even know what to tell them anymore." Her words painted a picture of a mother struggling to shield her kids from the emotional fallout of adult decisions. Robyn's breakdown also served as a mirror reflecting Cody's inner turmoil. While he didn't cry during the scene, his facial expressions revealed a mixture of regret and defensiveness. At one point, he admitted that he feels betrayed by the wives who left, suggesting that their departures were acts of rebellion rather than survival. But as Robyn wept beside him, his tone softened. He placed a hand on her shoulder and said quietly, "I didn't want this either." For a brief moment, viewers saw a glimpse of the old Cody, the husband who once dreamed of harmony and unity. But that moment passed quickly, as tension returned to his face, a sign that his wounds remained deep and unhealed. The power of this episode lies in its raw honesty. After years of speculation and public judgment, Robyn finally allowed herself to be seen as vulnerable, flawed, and human. Her tears were not just about losing her sister wives, they were about losing the life she thought she was building. For someone who once believed in the beauty of plural marriage, the collapse of that dream has been devastating. Her emotional confession revealed that even though she is still legally and spiritually tied to Cody, the sense of belonging that once defined their family is gone. In interviews that aired after the episode, Robyn reflected on how filming the emotional scene forced her to confront feelings she had been suppressing.
She said that watching the family fall apart on national television has been like reliving the same heartbreak over and over again. She admitted that she has often tried to stay composed for the sake of appearances, but the constant scrutiny has taken a toll. She said, "People think I'm strong, but sometimes I just want to break down. I just want to cry and not have to explain why." This confession resonated deeply with viewers who have followed the Browns' journey for more than a decade. Many fans noted that while Robyn's tears might not erase the past, they offered a rare moment of authenticity in a show that has often been clouded by conflict and mistrust. Her emotional honesty reminded audiences that behind the headlines and controversies, there are real people grappling with loss and longing. Robyn's breakdown also highlighted the broader themes that Sister Wives has explored since its inception: the tension between faith and individuality, between loyalty and self-preservation. For years, the Browns presented themselves as a model of plural harmony, but the cracks in that foundation have now become impossible to ignore. Robyn's tears symbolized the final unraveling of that ideal, the moment when the illusion of unity gave way to the harsh truth of emotional separation. As the episode came to an end, Robyn's tear-streaked face lingered on screen. She looked both fragile and strong, broken yet resolute. It was as though she finally understood that the dream she once shared with Cody was gone, but her life had to go on. Her voice trembled as she said, "I still believe in family. I still believe in love. I just don't know what it looks like anymore." The scene faded out with her wiping away tears, a quiet reminder that even reality stars cannot escape the pain of heartbreak. In the days following the episode, social media exploded with reactions. Hashtags like "Poor Robyn," "Robyn breaks down," and "Sister Wives tears" trended across platforms. Some fans praised her for her vulnerability, but others accused the show of manipulating emotions for ratings. Still, the impact was undeniable. Robyn Brown had once again become the focal point of the Sister Wives conversation. But this time, it wasn't because of favoritism or conflict, because she finally showed the depth of her pain. As the Sister Wives saga continues, Robyn's emotional outburst may mark a turning point not only for her, but for the entire narrative of the show. Her tears opened a window into the private sorrow that fame, faith, and family have created. Whether fans sympathize with her or not, one thing is certain: Robyn Brown's breakdown has reminded everyone that beneath the layers of reality TV drama lies a real woman with a broken heart, struggling to find peace in a world that has watched her every move. In that single moment of surrender, when she whispered, "I couldn't hold it in anymore," Robyn Brown transformed from the most criticized figure in Sister Wives history into its most human one. Her tears told the story of a dream gone wrong, of love stretched too thin, and of a family that once believed forever meant together.
When the latest episode of Sister Wives aired, fans across the world were left speechless by an emotional confession that few saw coming. Robyn Brown, the wife often described as Cody Brown's favorite, broke down in tears and admitted that she can no longer carry the weight of being the last woman standing in a family that has fallen apart piece by piece. Her tearful declaration, "This is too much," became the phrase heard around the world, sparking a flood of reactions from fans who have followed the Browns' complex story for more than a decade. The moment wasn't just another dramatic reality TV outburst, it was the unraveling of years of silent suffering, bottled emotions, and unspoken truths that have finally come to the surface. The scene began quietly enough, with Robyn sitting down in her Flagstaff home, surrounded by family photos that once represented unity, but now stand as bittersweet reminders of what used to be. The camera lingered on her face, tired and weary, before she began to speak in a voice that was soft but shaking with emotion. She confessed that the loneliness and tension in her life have become unbearable, that watching Cody's other marriages crumble and feeling blamed for everything has finally taken its toll. She said, "I feel like everyone hates me," she said through tears, her hands trembling as she tried to hold herself together.
They think I wanted this, that I wanted to be the only one left, but I didn't. This is too much for one person to handle. Those words struck a chord with viewers because for so long, Robyn has been seen as the calm, composed wife, the one who always appeared in control, often defending Cody's choices and preaching unity while the other wives distanced themselves. But this episode stripped away that image completely. Instead of control, fans saw chaos. Instead of calm, they saw heartbreak. Robyn's sobs filled the room as she admitted that the dream of plural harmony she once cherished has turned into a nightmare. She said, "I believed in our family." She struggled to speak between tears. "I believed in love, in sisterhood, in the idea that we could make this work. But now I feel like I'm standing alone in the ashes of something that used to be beautiful." Her words echoed the deep sense of loss that has haunted the Brown family since Christine, Janelle, and Mary all chose to leave Cody. What used to be a household of shared laughter, family gatherings, and complicated but enduring bonds has now been replaced by empty rooms and strained silence. Robyn's confession revealed that the fractures in their relationships didn't just break the family, they broke her spirit. She said she spends her nights crying, praying for peace, and wondering what she could have done differently to stop the unraveling. "Every day feels heavier," she whispered. "I'm tired of pretending I'm okay." For fans who have watched the series from the beginning, this moment was both shocking and strangely cathartic. Many have long accused Robyn of being the catalyst for the Browns' downfall, suggesting that her arrival shifted Cody's attention and affection away from the original wives. Yet as she cried, her vulnerability told a different story. She wasn't the manipulative figure some had painted her to be. She was a woman drowning in guilt, love, and confusion. Her tears weren't only for her own pain, but for the loss of a family she had hoped would last forever. She said, "I wanted to fix it. I wanted us all to find a way back to each other, but it feels like nobody wants that anymore." As Robyn spoke, Cody sat beside her, his face a mixture of frustration and helplessness. He tried to comfort her, reaching for her hand, but the emotional distance between them was palpable. Gone was the confident patriarch who once prided himself on balancing 4 relationships and maintaining harmony. What remained was a man clearly grappling with the consequences of his own choices. Cody's voice cracked as he admitted that he never imagined their family would end up like this. But Robyn interrupted him, her voice rising with emotion. "You don't understand how alone I feel," she cried. "You still have your pride, your stubbornness, but I have to live with everyone's anger, everyone's judgment. They all look at me like I destroyed everything, and I can't handle it anymore." That outburst was one of the most powerful moments in Sister Wives history. The camera stayed on Robyn's tear-streaked face as she gasped for breath, her words tumbling out between sobs. It was a raw, unfiltered release of emotion that left even the production crew visibly shaken. Cody leaned back at a loss for what to say, his usual assertive demeanor gone. He whispered her name softly, but she continued to cry, repeating over and over, "This is too much." It was clear that Robyn had reached her breaking point, not just as a wife, but as a woman who had been carrying the emotional burden of a family's collapse for too long. The fallout from this emotional confession has been massive. Fans flooded social media with reactions, ranging from empathy to criticism. Some viewers expressed genuine compassion, saying they could finally see the pain Robyn has been hiding for years. One fan wrote, "For the first time, I actually felt for Robyn. She looked broken, and it's heartbreaking." Another added, "People forget she's human. Watching everyone leave and being blamed for it must be awful." But not everyone was moved. Others accused her of performing for sympathy, suggesting that her tears came too late. Now she cries after everyone else has walked away. Where were these emotions when Christine was begging to be heard?